Something's brewing in Denver, and it's not just altitude or off-season hype. As we gear up for the 2025 NFL season, two Broncos players are quietly rising into the spotlight. They're not household names yet, but if you're paying attention, you'll see the signs of something special. Let's start with Dandre Tilman, a name that might not ring out yet but could very soon. Tilman made the jump from the USFL to the NFL and didn't just survive. He made an impact. Slotted in as a rotational linebacker, he showed a knack for getting after the quarterback every time he stepped on the field. Vance Joseph, Denver's defensive coordinator, sees it too. He called Tilman a big guy who can run, a freak athlete with the kind of explosiveness that every team dreams about in a depth edge rusher. But what sets him apart? He finishes. A lot of young defenders can flash, but Tilman closes the deal. He turns pressure into production. Even Sean Payton had high praise. He called Tilman a diamond in the rough, praising his physicality and relentless work ethic. When coaches start talking like that, especially about a guy who wasn't even expected to make the roster, it means something. Bringing in talent from leagues like the USFL can be risky. The NFL is a different universe when it comes to speed, physicality, and pressure, but Tilman is proving that he belongs, and that he might just become a problem for opposing offenses in 2025. Every now and then, you find a guy who doesn't care about the spotlight. He just cares about ball. That's Dandre Tilman. He suited up for 12 games last season. On paper, the stats don't scream superstar, but context matters. Tilman wasn't supposed to be a key contributor, yet every time he stepped on the field, he brought energy, discipline, and a motor that never shut off. And in a linebacker room riddled with injury concerns, Drew Sanders, Alex Singleton, Dre Greenlaw, you better believe the Broncos need someone like him. From a numbers standpoint, Tilman played 242 defensive snaps and recorded 12 quarterback pressures, a solid 5% pressure rate. Sure, it's not elite territory. Top pass rushers in the league sit closer to 10%, but for a rotational player, that kind of efficiency is rare. Just consider what head coach Sean Payton said. Tilman will have a bigger role in 2025. It's just a matter of finding the right defensive packages. And we're not talking about 50 to 60 snaps here. Payton's vision, and it should be yours too, is 300 plus snaps for Tilman in the coming season. That's no longer a fringe contributor. That's a real piece of the Broncos defense. So ask yourself, should Tilman see more time on the field? If you've been watching closely, there's only one answer. Yes, without hesitation. Now let's talk about the second name on that sleeper list, Brandon Jones. And to be honest, it's wild he was even labeled a sleeper in the first place, because Jones wasn't just good last year, he was a force. The Broncos didn't quietly use him. He was a full-time starter, making plays all over the field. So calling him a sleeper feels misleading, unless we're talking about how the rest of the league keeps sleeping on his talent. More on him next. Let's be real. Brandon Jones didn't just have a good 2024 season. He had the best year of his career, and the numbers back it up. He signed a 3-year deal with Denver, a move that raised a few eyebrows at the time due to his past injury history. But Jones answered every doubt with force. He didn't just prove the Broncos right. He exceeded expectations and played like one of the top safeties in the entire NFL. Even Pro Football Focus recognized it. He finished the year ranked among the top 5 safeties in the league, earning a stunning PFF grade of 86.7. That's elite company. So when someone tries to label Brandon Jones a sleeper, it doesn't sit right. Because here's the truth. Sleepers are guys who sneak up on you. Jones didn't sneak. He dominated. If we're being honest, calling him a sleeper feels like a disservice. This isn't a guy who got lucky or flashed for a few games. This is a player who put up Pro Bowl level numbers across the board. 115 tackles, 10 pass breakups, 3 interceptions. And again, that top 5 safety grade from PFF. Those aren't maybe next year's stats. Those are right now stats. If anything, call him underrated, call him a comeback story, call him a tone setter on defense, but don't call him a sleeper. He's already awake, and he's coming for even more in 2025. And to his credit, Brandon Jones didn't fire back when asked about these rankings. He stayed humble, focused, the kind of leader you want patrolling the back end of your defense. This isn't a story of potential. This is the story of a player who's already arrived and still climbing. Ask Brandon Jones about his own game and you won't hear ego. You'll hear a player obsessed with growth. I want to grow in every aspect, he said. You can't ever be too good at one thing. That mindset tells you everything. Early in his career, he was labeled a box safety, a guy who plays downhill, crashes the line, and lives to stop the run. And sure, he brings that physical edge, that aggression, that old school hit stick mentality. But 2024 changed the narrative. Jones didn't just stuff the run. He proved he could cover the field with the best of them. His PFF coverage grade, a stunning 90.0, among the highest in the league. He showed he can rotate deep, read quarterbacks, and break up plays in the air, not just in the trenches. He played like a true dual-threat safety, a force in the box, and a ball hawk in coverage. Think center fielder in baseball, roaming, reading, communicating, locking it down. And don't forget the intangibles. Jones has grown into a leader, vocal, consistent, reliable, a steady anchor in a defense that's seen its share of turnover. He's not just reacting, he's anticipating, directing, and elevating the players around him. So ask yourself, with Brandon Jones and Talanoa Hufanga in the same secondary, are the Broncos quietly building one of the best safety duos in the entire NFL? If you're watching closely, the answer is obvious. Brandon Jones isn't chasing hype, he's chasing greatness. Dandre Tilman isn't here to fill a roster spot, he's here to disrupt. These aren't sleeper picks anymore, these are weapons. And in 2025, the rest of the league better take notice.